Yo, what up, what up? We about to talk about this Diddy situation. We about to talk about this P. Diddy situation. He just got indicted. This is crazy. I never thought I'd see this day. I never thought I'd see this day come to pass. But he just got indicted in New York. If you don't know who Diddy is, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, Love, whatever you want to call him. He's in jail right now, awaiting his trial. And for those of you who don't know, this is who Diddy is. I'm gonna show you a picture real quick. He's a mogul in the hip hop industry, big dog in the hip hop industry, one of the richest executives, producers, musicians in the hip hop industry. And yeah, so there's a picture of Diddy right here, just in case y'all don't know who Diddy Sean Combs is. So he just got indicted. You know, he's been in the hip hop industry since like the 90s, for as long as I can remember growing up. Diddy always been big. At first, you know, he came out with the record label Bad Boy. He had Biggie Smalls signed to him. And earlier on, when Biggie Smalls got killed, a lot of people speculate that he set that up. A lot of people speculate that he had something to do with that. Some people even speculate that he had something to do with Tupac getting killed as well. Damn. So Diddy just got indicted in New York, and he's awaiting trial. Over the last few months, there's been a lot of people coming out saying how he sexually assaulted them, beat them. There's just been a whole lot of allegations and a whole lot of different people, men and women, coming out blaming Diddy for things that he's done to them. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down his indictment. I'm going to be breaking down the reasons why he's in jail right now. First off, they denied his bail, so he's not out on bail. A couple months ago, they raided his house in Los Angeles and raided his home in Miami. If I'm not mistaken, they raided all of his homes in Los Angeles, Miami, and New York. They confiscated video footage. They confiscated all kinds of stuff, you know, things that will serve as evidence in this case, which is here today, right now. You know, this shit is crazy. You know, this is just crazy. But the question you got to ask yourself, we're going to talk about this in this video. I'm going to be talking about this Diddy situation from multiple angles. But the question you got to ask yourself is, why now? You know what I'm saying? Why now? Over the years, Diddy has been seen in relationships with multiple women. Stemming back all the way back years ago, he was dating J-Lo. He was dating Cassie. You know, his most recent relationship was with Young Miami. Kim Porter, the mother of his children, she passed away some years ago due to, they say it was pneumonia. But the biggest thing that hit the internet recently, a couple months ago, the biggest thing that I think really rocked Diddy's world and really tarnished his image in a major way was that footage of him beating on Cassie in that hotel hallway. I don't know if you saw it. There was footage of Cassie trying to leave the hotel that they were in, and she's running down the hallway. Then she runs to the elevators, and Diddy chases behind her. And when he catches up to her, he basically punches her, slams her to the ground, kicks her on the ground, and drags her back to the hotel room they were in. Since that footage got released, there's been mad people coming out saying that Diddy sexually assaulted them, Diddy drugged them and made them do things against their will, Diddy forced them to participate in sexual activities. This is also something that Cassie was accusing him of. But when that video, and I did a video recently talking about the footage of Diddy beating on Cassie in the hotel. But I mean, like I was saying in that video, you a mogul. You worth hundreds of millions of dollars, damn near $1 billion. You worth damn near $1 billion. And that's what you doing? You trying to force a woman to stay with you? You trying to force a woman to stay with you against her will? You trying to make her, basically you trying to hold a woman hostage when she wants to leave? And you got all that money and all that power? You got all that fame? You could damn near get any fucking woman you want? And that's what you do? That's what you do? This happened, this footage, this situation with Diddy hitting on Cassie, that happened back in 2016. 8 years ago. Back in 2016, that whole incident happened. So my question is, why now? Why is all of this stuff coming to the forefront now about what Diddy did to people, how he mistreated people, how he did trafficking, and how he's been moving narcotics across international lines and stuff like that? Why now? That's the question you got to ask yourself. So there's multiple ways to look at this situation. First off, before we go into the different perspectives that one may have on this situation, I just want to say, I think when a person becomes very powerful, I think people they start to feel invincible. When certain people get a lot of money, they start to feel untouchable. They start to feel like nothing could hurt them. They start to feel so powerful that they get to a point where they literally feel powerful from making people do what they want them to do. They literally feel powerful. They on some shit. I think Diddy got to the point where he got so powerful where he was on the type of timing where he's like, yo, how dare you tell me no? How dare you tell me you don't want to do this? And I asked you to do it. Once that starts happening, that is the start of somebody's downfall and the start of somebody's demise. Once you start feeling so invincible that everybody has to tell you yes, and everybody has to listen to whatever it is that you dictate for them to do, that's where the problem starts to come in. And I think that's what happened with Diddy. I think he got so powerful and he got so much money that he started to feel invincible. He started to get to the point where he's telling people to do things sexually as well as not sexually. And if they don't do it, there's repercussions for the simple fact that they told him no or they didn't obey him. And when you get to that point, what's going to happen is eventually you're going to come to your downfall. I think we could all learn that lesson from this. We could learn that lesson from what Diddy's going through right now. No matter how much money you have, you still got to be careful how you treat people. No matter how much money you have, you still got to be careful of the way that you conduct your business. Because, you know what, before I go into that other shit, 300 to Freedom, you already know what it is. Give me a thumbs up, give me a like on this video so far if you feel what I'm talking about. Drop a comment below, let me know your thoughts on this Diddy situation. But what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to read the whole indictment, the actual indictment, the PDF, the Combs indictment PDF. I'm going to read it right now. I'm going to go through this as fast as possible. You can see this is the real indictment. This ain't no BS. I'm reading the real indictment of why he's charged. So it says, for decades, Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, the defendant, abused, threatened, and coerced women and others. One second, sorry about that. Coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on the employees, resources, and influence of the multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members, sorry about that, the print is real small, so I gotta zoom in a little bit, whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Sean Combs, the defendant, operated his business headquartered at various times in Manhattan and Los Angeles under a variety of United States-based corporate entities, including Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, and Combs Global corporate entities, and the Combs business included, among other things, record labels, a recording studio and apparel line, an alcoholic spirits business, a marketing agency, and a television network and media company. At all times relevant to this indictment, Sean Combs engaged in a persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse toward women and other individuals. The abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As part of his pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity with male commercial sex workers. At times, Combs and others acting at his direction made arrangements for women and commercial sex workers to fly to Combs' location. Combs ensured participation from the women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut off the same, and using intimidation and violence. Physical abuse by Sean Combs, the defendant, was recurrent and widely known. On numerous occasions from at least in or about 2009 and continuing for years, Combs assaulted women by, among other things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at, and kicking them. These assaults were at times witnessed by others and included one instance at a Los Angeles hotel in or about March 2016, which was captured on video and later publicly reported, where Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a woman as she was attempting to leave. That's Cassie. They talking about Cassie with that situation. Now, like I've been saying, right? Why the fuck are you doing this? If you're this powerful, you don't have to do this. There's women who would want to fuck with you. You don't have to force nobody to stay with you. You want to go on? Go ahead, shorty. Go about your fucking business. I'm going to get me the next girl coming by in 5 minutes. I don't need you. Why are you I don't understand that. Another thing is, but there is part of this case that I think is flawed, right? First off, what I will say is once the footage of Cassie was released, right there, they tarnished his image. Now his public perception is negative. Now the whole world is going to automatically view him as a monster for the simple fact he put his hands on that woman in 2016 in that footage in the hotel. Once they released that footage, the whole world started to see him as a monster. Followed by that, all of these people talking about what he did to them. Now, the thing I would say about this case that I believe is flawed in my opinion is, number one, what took y'all so long? If y'all knew this was going on, I'm sure a lot of people around him, a lot of powerful people around him, his friends, colleagues, business partners, whatever, I'm sure they knew what the fuck he was doing. I'm sure they was even participating in some of this shit. Why now? What the fuck took y'all so long to come at him? That's number one. What the fuck took y'all so long, right? The second thing that I want to know is if you indicting him on sexual charges as trafficking, but yet he was hiring sex workers. My man's was hiring sex workers. These are grown adults. These weren't minors. These weren't kids. These were grown adults who knew what they were getting flown out to do. So that's another thing where I feel like they just lumping everything in and just paint him as a monster with every situation. Now, am I saying he's innocent? No, I'm not saying he's innocent. But what I'm saying is if I want to fly out a fucking sex worker to come do sexual deeds for me, why can I do that? That's what their profession is. That's what their profession is. What's the problem with me hiring a sex worker to come do sexual deeds for me? What is the issue with that if you a sex worker and that's what the fuck your ass do for a living? I'm paying you. You know what you're getting involved with. So that part of it, I think they kind of dragging with it. But I will say, I don't agree with hitting and beating no woman. You don't got to do that. That was stupid as fuck. That was dumb as hell. That don't make no sense. Also, it's dumb as hell. Why are you drugging people? What the fuck you drugging people for? You don't got to do that. You Diddy. You the hip-hop mogul. You a hip-hop king. You don't got to be drugging people to make them do what you want them to do. They probably want to do it anyway. The next thing is, if he would have set what his activities was, if he would have set it up as like a business, like a corporation, basically like how these porn industries and adult industries have their activities done under a business umbrella where it's a real corporation and these people got to sign, contracts and they got to sign agreements that give permission and consent to the activities they're about to engage in, that's the way he should have did it. He should have did things in a legal way, knowing that at some point somebody could complain later on saying they was abused, saying they was mistreated, saying they were physically abused, emotionally abused, they were forced to do things. Had he had contractual agreements with these individuals laying out what the activities they would be participating in, as well as the types of things they would be conducting, the type of sexual acts they would be conducting and engaged in and participating in, had he done that, it would have been a lot harder for them to come at him like this. It would have been a lot harder for them to come at him like this. And he should have had his shit set up that way, in a corporate manner. Now, don't get me wrong. Him hitting on women, that's a whole different situation. That's a whole different thing. That's where the problems come in. Him drugging people, that's a whole another situation. That's where the problems come in. But to say he's trafficking by flying a sex worker to perform sexual activities at his home, he's a grown man, and these are grown people. If they want to do that and that's what their profession is, and they say, yes, I want to do this, how is he wrong for doing that? But like I said, once that video came out, once that video footage came out of what he did to Cassie, once they tarnish your image and create a negative public perception of you, that's the first step to them knocking down your domino chips. Once they tarnish your image and get public perception to be negative of you, they start knocking you down. They start the downfall, because now everything else that people are accusing him of, it becomes believable. It becomes fathomable. You know what I'm saying? Once they released that footage of what he did to Cassie, everything else became believable. We're gonna keep it pushing. We're gonna keep reading. So the defendant was recurrent and widely known on numerous occasions from at least, okay, we already read that. We're gonna go keep it pushing. The defendant used the Combs business, including certain employees, to carry out, facilitate, and cover up his abuse and commercial sex. Those employees, including security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors and other close associates, acted as Combs intermediaries, and their conduct was facilitated and assisted by Combs' control of the Combs business. From at least in or about 2008 through on or about the date of the filing of this indictment, the defendant and others known and unknown were members and associates of a criminal organization, the Combs Enterprise or the Enterprise, members and association of the Combs Enterprise engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other activities, sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotics offense, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. The Combs Enterprise, including its leadership, its members, and its associates, constituted an enterprise. So basically, this is the whole RICO thing. This is what they're trying to say. This is where the RICO charge is coming in on him. You know what I'm saying? So we got trafficking, the RICO, the racketeering, all of that shit coming in, lumping into one. But what was the main piece that they needed to show the world before they came down hard on him? The main piece they needed to show the world was him hitting on Cassie. That opened up the doors, the floodgates. Once they showed that video of him beating on Cassie, and if you don't know who Cassie is, I'm going to show you a picture of Cassie. She was a singer back in the days, a well-known singer. And she was dating Diddy off and on for a lot of years, like about more than a decade, right? And I'm going to show you real quick a picture of who Cassie is, so you know who Cassie is. That's Cassie. For y'all who don't know who Cassie is, that's Cassie. Now, this shit is crazy, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, this shit is crazy. I know in that footage that Homeland Security and the feds confiscated from his crib. I know in that footage there's some very powerful people. I know it's not just Diddy. But the question you got to ask yourself is, why now? Why they coming at Diddy now with this indictment? Why is he locked up now when he's been doing all of these things for years and years and years? And it's just now that they coming down hard on him. I'm going to tell you why. It's not that they didn't know. They knew. They knew from years ago this was going on. This is not new knowledge to a lot of them knew. That's why a lot of the celebrities, you'll find that a lot of them on shh. They on hush mode right now. They're not really talking about and giving their opinions on the situation. Or how could you not give your opinion on a situation where this dude is a big fucking hip hop icon? It's not like he's just some regular Joe Schmo. This dude is a mogul, a hip hop mogul, huge. Why y'all quiet? There's reasons why, and it's because a lot of people who was engaged and participating in what Diddy had going on, they knew about it. They knew, powerful people knew what he was doing, but it was okay then, right? There's another problem I have with the system. You see, you have people like Trump walking around doing S trafficking and S assaults and stuff like that. He's been accused of doing some similar things, right? Donald Trump, right? Yet and still he's running for presidency right now. Yet and still he's could possibly become the next president. Yet and still he's not behind bars. And this is why I say you gotta watch how they pick and choose who to come down on. You gotta watch the unfairness. You gotta see everything from all angles. You can't just look at it from just one angle. You gotta look at this situation in its totality and also compare it to how other people, other important public figures are being treated when they have similar cases against them. There's a big difference. And you got to ask yourself why. Because I think that things should be fair across the board. It doesn't mean that Combs is innocent. It doesn't mean that Diddy is innocent. But it does mean that if you're going to penalize and ostracize and demonize one individual for a certain case, then another individual who's doing similar activities needs to be demonized, ostracized, and ridiculed the same way. That's how I feel. Is that fair to say? Drop a comment below if you agree with me. Is that fair to say? I think that's fair to say. Now, let's keep it pushing. We're going to keep it moving. 300 to freedom. 300 to freedom. Give me a thumbs up. Like this video. I would appreciate if you share this video with 5 people you know. Make sure to share this video with 5 people you know who you think would want to hear its perspective on the Diddy situation. Because I've been looking at this from multiple perspectives, not just one. Not just from the, oh, he's a monster. All right, cool. We understand that. But there's ways of handling everybody across the board who are all monsters. You can't just handle this monster in a certain way and then lend a blind eye and have another monster running for presidency and doing whatever the fuck he want to do, you know, running around town, giving speeches and shit like that. It's not fair. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not fair. But anyway, Diddy, right? So now why are they coming at Diddy now? Why are they coming at Diddy now? That's the question. Why now, right? Because you gotta understand there's a reason why, right? All right, now, here we go. Here we go. Now, as you know, or may not know, Diddy was partnered up with Ciroc and other liquor brands, big liquor brands in the past. He was partnered up with them, marketing for them, helping them increase their sales. But then he got to the point where he sued the parent company of this liquor brand, right? So we're going to read what happened. We're going to read what Diddy's sued them for. So this is a article right here that basically explains him suing, coming against the very company that he was marketing for and he was a partner with. It says Diddy sues liquor giant Diageo for unlawful retaliation following racial discrimination suit. Sean Diddy Combs is accusing liquor giant Diageo of, that's what it says. It says Diageo, that's what it looks like it's spelled, like it's a weird spelling, of unlawful retaliation after the company ended their business relationship over a lawsuit Diddy filed claiming a pattern of racial discrimination. That's according to a new lawsuit filed in the New York Supreme Court and on Friday and obtained by the Daily Beast. In his new suit, Combs says that he is facing unlawful retaliation by a powerful international corporation. Remind you, this is a powerful international corporation, a $1 billion company. This is a big time company. Diddy is a small fry to them, but yet and still they were working with him and had him marketing their liquor brands. And then he came against them when he sued them. And a little after this situation is when all the allegations started coming to light. It's when Homeland Security raided his house. It's when it became like a trend to talk about all the abuse and all the things that Diddy was doing over the years. Am I saying that Diddy's right? No, I'm not. But what I am saying is you gotta realize that when you go against certain powerful people, what they do is they do things like this. They no longer are protecting you. They're no longer keeping your secret secret anymore. That's what the lesson is. So Combs says, right, he is facing unlawful retaliation by a powerful international corporation after Diago announced in June that it was ending a 15-year partnership with him. That decision came after Combs sued the company in May. So they said, we ain't working with you no more. Fuck you, nigga. Go about your business, bro. You want to sue us? Fuck you. Right? He said sued the company in May, alleging he had been racially discriminated against and that Diago had left his Ciroc, vodka, and De Leon tequila brands behind in favor of others. The new suit contains fresh allegations from Combs, including that Diago has done all it can to retaliate against him and his company, including blackballing Mr. Combs in the spirits industry, which is what they did. Diago has instructed distributors and retailers of De Leon not to talk to Mr. Combs about his own brand. Diago, with its massive power in the industry, is doing everything it can to send a message not only to Mr. Combs, but to others like him. Speak up and you will be punished, the lawsuit alleges. In an affidavit filed alongside the new suit, Robert T. Chin, head of spirits at Combs Wines and Spirits, said that after filing suit against Diago in May, Combs was iced out of the marketing process for De Leon. Diago representatives began canceling meetings and failing to timely respond to communications written by Combs Wines representatives, which was out of the norm, Chin said in his affidavit. And for the first time, Diago took the position that Mr. Combs was not allowed to attend meetings with Diago about De Leon. So basically, in a nutshell, Diddy sued the company that was paying him, that had him on payroll. He sued them for discrimination, racial offenses, and not too long after that, all of his dirt started to come to the surface. Do you not think that has something to do with the powerful spirit company that he was working for? Duh. I mean, a blind person could see that. So this is how they do things. This is how they work. Oh, you don't want to obey us? Oh, or you don't want to do what we want you to do? All right. All that dirt that we was overlooking, all of that bullshit that we wasn't holding you responsible for, guess what? The world is about to see. Because you telling me all them years they ain't know Diddy was doing that? They knew Diddy was doing that shit. Also, they had a lot of security guards, ex-security guards of Diddy that used to talk about Diddy. That's still talking about Diddy up to this day, saying the things he used to do. One of them, his name is Gene Dale. He's been doing videos for years talking about the dirt that Diddy was doing. You think nobody else knew what Diddy was doing? You think nobody knew about? They was involved. Not only did they know, a lot of these powerful people, they was involved. Powerful music execs, politicians, pastors, they was involved. So I say that to say this. When I look at this situation, it's like, damn, bro, things caught up to him. But at the same time, it's like, why I don't deal with everybody the same way? And that's where I had the problem. Deal with everybody the same way. Be fair across the board. If he does trafficking or whatever you're saying he did some illegal enterprise and illegal businesses, treat the other people who are running for president the same way. That's just my take on it. But yeah, that's it, y'all. I love y'all. Yeah, like I was saying, man, this is what Diddy's dealing with. He's been indicted. I just read most of the indictment of why he's being charged. A lot of it has to do with trafficking, abuse, drugging, coercion, things of that nature. But I'm here to say, as a powerful person, you really don't have to do that. You really don't have to force somebody to do nothing. But what this tells me is when you get too powerful, it becomes like, who the fuck are these people to tell you no? And it's okay to get rejected sometimes. It's okay to be told no sometimes. But this is what happens when somebody's used to always being told yes. When somebody's used to always getting their way. They figure that the one time they don't get their way and the one time a person is not doing what they want to do, they have to abuse that person. And that's not what you got to do. You don't got to do that. You don't got to abuse nobody to make them do what you want them to do. You could just move on. You could deal with a different group of people. You could find yourself some new girlfriends, find yourself a new boyfriend, find yourself a new group of friends. You don't have to stoop so low. You don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, Diddy's been doing it so much that it eventually caught up to him, which is why he's being indicted today. And karma is doing her thing. And payback is a bitch. But at the same time, there is some unfairness in this. I think there is some discrimination in this at the same time. Not saying he's exempt, not saying he shouldn't pay for this. But what I am saying is, why now? This is the reason why now. They pick and choose when to build you up and when to crash you down. Anyway, this is your boy Jadis Crete. Make sure to stream my music on all streaming platforms. Check out my music, JAYDIS space CRETE. That's how you spell my name. And that's how you can find all my music on all music streaming platforms. All musicians, up and coming artists out there, if you want to get access to the free ebook on how to take your music career, your independent music career to the next level, all the links are in the description below. All you got to do is check that out. Also, if you want to get connected with me, check out the links in the description below. This is your boy Jadis Crete. Checking out. Love y'all. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. Share this video, like I said, with 5 people you know. Share this video with 5 people you know. I want to hear y'all perspectives. Drop your comments below as well, because there's many different ways to look at this. There's a lot of different ways to look at this. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. See y'all at the top. Peace.